So yeah, let's just say this year is 1994 on the list of some of the best years for cinema, and I can see why. Like, if time travel were to become real, and I could just watch stuff and not interfere, be like Watu the Watcher and just watch stuff but not interfere, I think I'd be going to see a lot of movies this year, because this year was stacked, like the 80s, but for the 1 year, and it only continued from this point onward. Even my birth year of 1995 had some great films too. But yeah, I guess starting it off, the movie that won Best Picture, Forrest Gump, real classic film. Tom Hanks at his best, a real sweet story, and you really buy the romance between Forrest and Jenny. And wow, when Forrest is crying at the end about how he really misses Jenny, it's just real sweet. And I don't think you have a heart if you don't cry hearing that scene. It's just so beautiful, and Tom Hanks showing why he's such a likable guy. Him and Keanu Reeves, definitely some of the most wholesome people working in Hollywood today. And why, if I make a comparison to them for any other modern celebrity, that's a high compliment. I feel Scarlett Johansson and Margot Robbie, and shoot, even RDJ and Chris Evans are the modern day equivalents to them. They're just so wholesome and such great people on and off camera. Like, yeah. And don't cancel me, but the way Tom Hanks hosted President Biden's inauguration was just wonderful. God, I don't know how he did it, but it was great. So, yeah, to talk about a movie that doesn't make me tear up as much, Quiz Show was a real great movie from this year also. And it was directed by Robert Redford and starred Lord Voldemort, who was also in Schindler's List, Ralph Fiennes. I know it's pronounced Rafe, but I really don't care. To me, it's Ralph. But yeah, highly recommend that movie. Pulp Fiction was the movie that put Quentin Tarantino on the map, let's just say, with its plot structure, the cast: Sam Jackson, Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel, Eric Stoltz. The list goes on and on. Rosanna Arquette, Amanda Plummer, Tim Roth. My God, that is a stacked cast, and I feel like Tarantino didn't really just match all that stuff coming together so well up until recently with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But yeah, the Best Actor competition this year, wow. Really anybody could have won, whether it be the actual winner, Tom Hanks for Forrest Gump, or Morgan Freeman for The Shawshank Redemption. The other big movie too that came out this year that's a classic is The Lion King. I don't think I need to say much more. Music, story, all incredible. And John Travolta for Pulp Fiction also. And Sam Jackson was also great for Best Supporting Actor for Pulp Fiction. But the performance he lost to with Martin Landau was also really great. He definitely gave a real solid performance. But yeah, Tarantino definitely deserved the Best Original Screenplay Oscar, though. That script that he did with Roger Avery was real great. And Forrest Gump won Best Screenplay Adapted from Another Medium, which was real great. And The Shawshank Redemption could have won too, because it was a great adaptation of King's work. But yeah, Speed came out this year and won some Oscars. That was great. Another great James Cameron movie, Before He Became an Asshole, came out this year too. That being True Lies. Definitely a real great film, but could not be made today, unfortunately, because of 9/11. But it's a nice little time capsule showing what Hollywood could do before 9/11, so there is that. And I'll probably get to that more when I get to the 21st century, because 9/11 does play a big influence in a lot of the cinema we're getting today. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But yeah, for Best Original Song this year, just about any movie could have won, or any song could have won, whether it's Can You Feel the Love Tonight, or Circle of Life, or Hakuna Matata, all great songs. And Clerks came out this year also. That's another classic right there. But yeah, this definitely was a real stacked year, and I guess no more beating around the bush. To sum up why I love The Shawshank Redemption so much, guess to just put it this way, everything came together. The real sweet story of always finding the hope even through dark times, and just hanging in there and pushing your way through, like what Andy did in The Shawshank Redemption. Andy Dufresne, who had a life sentence along with his fellow inmate Red, and everyone else was great too, from the warden played by Bob Gunton to William Sadler to Captain Hadley. Just everything about this is so sweet, and the story's great, and the ending, yeah, it makes me cry. It's real sweet how it ends. And who knew Stephen King could tell such a real great story, because he's known for telling horror stories, but I think whenever he wanted to, if he wanted to tell a real heartfelt and sweet, touching story, he could do it, and then some. But yeah, the quote from this movie, among the many reasons why this movie is my favorite overall, and the cinematography from Roger Deakins to the musical score, has to be the quote that Andy said to Red when he said, "Hope is a beautiful thing, Red, the best of things, and no good thing ever really dies." And I've kind of gotten to apply that to a particular animal I really like, the one that's behind me, my cat. I had another cat who I had to put down, and my rewording of the quote is, my previous cat, Merrick, was a good cat, the best of cats, and though she's gone, she never really is, and our time together was very beautiful, and it never will die. So yeah, gotta remember that, and continue to give a little Calico right behind me all the love, and the same love also. So yeah, oh boy, yeah, that movie was just great, and definitely one of the best of the decade. So I guess moving on to my birth year, the big movie that came out this year was Toy Story, the first computer animated film. Definitely one of my favorites. Braveheart won Best Picture. That one was real good. Apollo 13 was a worthy competitor, along with Babe. Really love that movie too. That's a real sweet movie too. And Heat came out this year. Another classic from my birth year that I highly recommend. And this was also the return of James Bond. GoldenEye came out that year. Probably the best of the Pierce Brosnan era. I feel like every Brosnan movie just went downhill slowly after this. From Tomorrow Never Dies to The World Is Not Enough. But, yeah. Die Hard with a Vengeance came out this year also and was the highest grossing film of the year. Really loved that one. Sam Jackson, Bruce Willis continued their pretty awesome chemistry. Usual Suspects, that's another classic movie from this year that I would definitely recommend. The script, the twist, all pretty incredible. 12 Monkeys came out this year. That's another real solid one, and Brad Pitt gives a real great performance in the movie as Jeffrey Goins. Highly recommend that. That's the performance of his that showed me he's not just a pretty boy. He could frickin' act. Like, he's got some skills. But yeah, Pocahontas came out this year though, and Disney kind of went on a downhill stretch after The Lion King, and Pocahontas is a movie I loved more as a kid, but becoming more historically aware of what happened, it's kind of annoying, and even if you take out the historical changes, it's still not the best movie. But the song that won was pretty good, Colors of the Wind. But I feel like You Got a Friend in Me should have won, because that song has way more staying power and was referenced in every other Toy Story movie since. So, yeah. Guess on to the very next year. The big movie that sticks out to me is Jerry Maguire. Love that movie. Show me the money! Show me the money! And Fargo's real good. Oh crap, I haven't even highlighted the Coen brothers. They're another duo I really love that I'm probably going to mention a lot from this point on. To go back, Blood Simple was a real great debut, along with Raising Arizona. Barton Fink is probably one of their most underrated films, along with The Hudsucker Proxy. And Fargo is incredible too, real great cast, and really love everything about it. Frances McDormand, probably one of her best performances in a Coen Brothers movie, but yeah, Coen Brothers, I just love how they go against the grain, and they do their own style, and their style is very moldable to whatever they want to mold it to. Like, they are just, I don't know how they do it, but it's great. I guess the last major film I want to highlight that came out this year is Independence Day. That was the big movie of the year. Real great. The other movie too is Hunchback of Notre Dame. That one's real good. And another one that doesn't get discussed a lot is Hamlet. Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. Guy's really great at making Shakespeare. And let's just say, even though it's long, it is pretty solid. So moving on to the next year, 1997, the last movie I feel James Cameron made before he became an asshole, and that's Titanic. Gotta admit, it was great. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet. The story's good, despite it taking some historical changes. Celine Dion's song is pretty good, I'll admit. Just about every Oscar it won was real good. Hercules came out this year, though, and that movie's real great, and love it. And the music's great, too, especially I Can Go the Distance. Love that song, especially when I'm trying to write scripts, whether for my short film or my theatrical film script. That's the song that always just tells me to keep moving forward and focus, and every mile, it'll be worth my while. But yeah, other great movies too that came out that need to be mentioned are LA Confidential. That is a real great modern noir film. Good Will Hunting, just incredible. Love that movie. Probably one of Matt Damon's best performances, and that's saying a lot considering how many great performances he has. And the movie that Robin Williams won a much overdue Oscar for his role as Sean Maguire. As Good as It Gets was real good too. And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck won for Best Original Screenplay. They deserve that one also. Amistad came out that year also, another really great Spielberg movie. And, The Fifth Element is another film I gotta highlight too. This movie was a real great blend of science fiction and action, and highly recommend it. And a movie from the same director I gotta mention, which I forgot, is Leon the Professional. That movie, wow, it is simply incredible, very emotional. Highly recommend. It is great. And I guess the last notable movie of this year I gotta highlight is Men in Black. Highly recommend. From the song, Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, their chemistry is just perfect. And the beginnings of a real great trilogy. And no, I don't count the recent film. To me, that movie does not exist. My headcanon, it doesn't exist. Very next year, though, was the beginning of the Oscars, fucking up a lot of Best Picture winners. Shakespeare in Love beat out Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, fuck no to that. Saving Private Ryan is a fucking classic, one of Steven Spielberg's best movies. Its only real competitor this year was The Thin Red Line. Much better film overall. From Terrence Malick. But yeah, Saving Private Ryan, just its raw authenticity, just everything about the movie came together well. Mulan also came out this year, which was real great. But yeah, Tom Hanks gave a real great performance as Captain John Miller. And the musical score by John Williams is real great, especially the track Hymn to the Fallen. I listen to that sometimes while doing stuff. It's a really nice track. And the opening scene's great, all the battle scenes. Matt Damon, for the brief role he plays as Private Ryan, is great. And What Dreams May Come is another really great movie that came out this year, so highly recommend that. So yeah, 1998 was another solid year. And holy shit, to close out this video and the decade, 1999 wow, what a year for cinema. Movies like Fight Club came out this year. So many great lines, scenes, Brad Pitt killing it. First rule of Fight Club, we do not talk about Fight Club. So yeah, anytime you talk about the movie Fight Club, you're breaking rule number 1. Oh, Seven, another movie from David Fincher, came out the year I was born. Highly recommend. Another great classic film, and the twist ending. Oh boy. If you want to watch a movie where evil wins, watch Seven. It is not a happy ending type film. It's like Avengers Infinity War. The heroes lose, and you feel it. I won't say how, but you feel it. But yeah, this year was also the year The Matrix released, along with Tarzan, another real solid film. The Sixth Sense was great as well. The Green Mile, another really solid film from this year. But yeah, Sixth Sense, another really great twist, and it launched M. Night Shyamalan on the map. American Beauty is really good too. Don't get why some call it overrated. Boys Don't Cry is another really great movie from the year too. And yeah, The Matrix, what is there not to say about that movie? Everything is just great, from the music to the fights. Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss. The action is just so great, so gritty, and this movie is just such a great balance of action, science fiction, and philosophy in a nice little bow. Like, I don't know how it was done, but this movie is just great, while also taking some influences from some classics of the past, like Blade Runner and a few others. But yeah, this was also the beginning of the Star Wars prequel trilogy. And I feel like I'm in the minority, but the only one I really don't like out of that trilogy is The Phantom Menace. Upon rewatches, it's hard to get through. Toy Story 2 also came out this year. That was a real nice movie that came out this year as well. And yeah, overall, 1999 was a real great year for film. What a way to cap off the decade. So I guess one more video. It's going to be the 21st century. So like, comment, subscribe. Peace.